Purple Daily is daily Vikings entertainment. We just want the Vikings to win a Super Bowl before we die.
I will ride with this group.
Seriously, man. Please.
And away we go.
And a happy Thor's Day to all who celebrate. Thor Nystrom from Matthew Berry's FantasyLife.com. And we have a show for you guys today on Purple Daily. We are, like, Judd's already, he's grinding the hands together. He's ready. We are going to pick all 14 NFL playoff teams, our Super Bowl matchups, our Super Bowl winners. Thor even has because he's a draft man, the top 3 teams that we'll pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, our MVP, and some criticism, or call it slander, from a smart football guy directed toward the Vikings from ESPN.com. So we'll get to all of that. Let's shout out Quick Trip first before we do anything else. Start the show the right way here, Judd.
Absolutely, because Quick Trip and the Vikings are teaming up to put you in the ride of your dreams, folks. Picture this, you behind the wheel of a brand new 2025 Ford Bronco Big Bend, or tearing up the trails on a brand new 2025 Polaris Sportsman ATV. How do you win this? Just stop by your local Quick Trip, and for every $1 you spend using Quick Rewards, you'll earn a point to spend in the Vikings Fan Zone. Purchase qualifying products and earn bonus Fan Zone points. Just tap the Quick Rewards app, enter the Vikings Fan Zone, and start winning now. Details available at quicktrip.com/fanzone. Quicktrip.com/fanzone. Drive, ride, and win like a Viking only at Quick Trip.
Also, before we get into the show here, so a little over a week ago, the tragedy at Annunciation Catholic School, it touched our show and Declan's family, as he's talked about, and he talked about it in depth on Mackie and Judd last week, or 2 weeks ago, but time has sort of flown here, last week and a half ago. But Purple Daily and Score North listeners have helped raise over $2,000 so far. Yeah. So Dex, explain to our audience here.
Yeah. So if you want to help out the students, the faculty, the parents even at Annunciation Catholic School in Minneapolis, you can do so by going to scorenorth.com/donate. Your money is going towards resources to help these kids try to get to the necessary therapy and resources that they need to get some semblance of trying to go back to school, plus classrooms need to be repaired. Plenty of things that need to be improved at that school, not just inside of it, but certainly outside of it for that great community there. So if you are inclined to donate, whether it's $5, $100, anywhere you want, anything you want to donate, scorenorth.com/donate to help out Annunciation Catholic School in Minneapolis.
Judd, who should start? Should Thor start?
Yes, yeah. Have Thor start.
Thor, do you want to bat lead off here? You want to tell us your 14 playoff teams across the league?
I'm happy to bat lead off.
Let's start with playoff teams, and then we will get to then we'll all do playoff teams, and then we'll do another round where we do our Super Bowl matchup, just to kind of create some structure here. Okay.
All right, let's do this. So we'll start with the NFC, and I'm gonna go by order of seeds, predicted order of seeds here. So my number 1 seed, the Commanders.
Oh.
Number 2 seed, your Minnesota Vikings.
Oh wow.
3 seed. And some people don't like this team. They do play the easiest strength of schedule by the projected win totals for this coming season, which a bit more predictive than last year's record. The 49ers, yeah. I think, end up scraping in and winning that division. Not a good division. Number 4, this is a bit of a surprise too. But my boy, Terrible Terry Fontenot and the Atlanta Falcons stealing their division. Not a very good division there either. The Falcons put a lot of eggs in this basket to try to save Terrible Terry's job. Maybe this is my bias because I want Terry in my life going forward. I put the Falcons as division winners, getting the 4 seed. Last 3 wild cards: Eagles, Packers at 6, and then the Seahawks sneaking into the playoffs at 7. That means that I've out of the playoffs in the NFC: Lions, Cowboys, Rams, Buccaneers.
You said Commander. Who is your 1 seed?
The Commanders.
Commander's the 1 seed. Dude, the NFC is so tough to pick, especially if you believe that the Vikings are a playoff team, and some people just write the Vikings off and don't include them, but you're leaving out like Rams, or you have to leave out 2 or 3 viable teams. But you have Buccaneers missing playoffs.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's a flawed team in my opinion.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the South is flawed. The entire South is flawed.
For
so
sure.
It's a that's hard to pick because of ineptitude. The rest of the divisions are hard to pick because teams are good usually.
That's right. Yeah. And I think for that division, it's going to be another one of those years where you have a couple of those teams that are sort of stuck together around 500 towards the end of the season, and I'm just having the Falcons squeeze in there.
Okay, give us your AFC playoff teams, and then we'll go from there.
AFC playoff teams, again, starting at the 1 seed and going down. 1 seed Bills, 2 seed Ravens, 3 seed Chiefs. Now it's chalk to this point. Now we get a little bit less chalky. 4 seed, I like the Jaguars to return to the playoffs this year. I love Liam Cohen. I thought that was a really, really good hire. That guy is super duper sharp. If between him and then having a healthy roster and then adding Travis Hunter, I also like some of their free agent acquisitions. I think they win that division, which is not a great division. And then the wild cards, Broncos at 5, Bengals at 6, and then another surprise one, the Patriots, who play one of the easiest schedules in the NFL this year. I think they sneak in at 7, which would have the teams I have missing the playoffs in the AFC of relevance: Steelers, Texans, Chargers.
Yeah. Chargers losing Rashawn Slater, but they moved Joe Alt over the left tackle. But how much of a right tackle problem do they have? And can Joe Alt step right in? So that's a tough division too, man. I mean, because you've got 2 teams from the AFC West out, but the other 2 teams are coached by Jim Harbaugh and Pete Carroll, and so there's just competitive teams all throughout that division.
That's a good division, yeah. And I think the Steelers are going to be, or I'm sorry, the Raiders will be a tough out. But yeah, I mean, just how good that division is, I couldn't get there to getting them in.
Okay, so we'll pause before we get to the Super Bowl part there.
Football.
And Judd, you want to
Sure.
bat second here?
I'll bat second. All right, so first of all, I'll start with NFC division winners, okay? Commanders.
Wow, you guys.
Yep.
I like the command. Like
Same page, Judd.
I've been questioning the Commanders, but then the more I think about it, I'm like, no, they look like they're legit. The Eagles, it's so tough to repeat with a really good season after a Super Bowl championship. Not saying that they can't, but anyway, Commanders, unpopular pick. The Packers win the division.
Wow, look at you, dude.
Yep,
Look
I got
at
the
this
Packers
guy.
winning the division.
Wow.
Well, but just wait.
Judd's new ringtone here.
But that division is incredible. The South, I've got the Bucks. Baker Mayfield's turned out to be really good. And again, I don't trust that division. Like, I just don't there's no team I really like. I think Carolina could pop up in a couple of years, but I don't think that they're there yet. The Falcons, I don't know. I mean, Penix might be fine, but he also might be hurt by week 3. In the West, I'm going with San Francisco. I like that pick. I think they are a well-run, well-coached team with question marks. If Brock Purdy's ever going to shut people up, it's this year. Like, there's a lot of question out, well, now you're paid. Now they had to jettison some of your teammates because you're paid well. So Brock Purdy and the 49ers win the West. My wildcard teams in the NFC, Vikings, Eagles, and Rams. I think the
Vikings,
Rams
Eagles,
make
Rams.
it.
Okay.
Yep.
Are you worried at all about Matthew Stafford's back?
Yes, I am. I've gone back and forth on this. I did think about Thor's pick, the Seahawks, but so I'm worried about Stafford's back. I like McVay a lot. I think he's a hell of a coach. The most significant team that I just left out though, was the Lions.
Yeah.
I left the Lions out.
So you guys both have the Lions out.
Judd, you and me.
Yep.
Look at us.
There's
They
just a lot
play
there.
Brutal schedule.
Yeah, coordinators are gone. Offensive line is not anything close to what it was. There's just a lot of question marks there to me.
Yeah. Losing Ragnow and Zeitler is tough, but in particular, Ragnow. That offensive line been so nasty in the past. We have to see what their interior offensive line looks like. That could be a different offense if that is a different interior offensive line, and it's going to get worse. We just don't know by how much. But if you want to look at an example of a team that has awesome tackles but a crappy interior offensive line and what that did to the offense, take a look no further than the Vikings the last couple of years. Having a bad interior offensive line hurts.
Yeah, and they still managed around it to win 13 games and 14 games. But yeah, if you're looking to make a playoff run, it can be tough. So, okay, Judd, give us your AFC teams.
All right, my division winners in the AFC are the Bills in the East, the Ravens in the North, the Texans in the South. I actually think the Texans come back and play well. Offensive line concerns me. CJ Stroud, great rookie year, dropped off a little bit. I think he's good. And then the West is the Chiefs, so I will stay with the Chiefs. Eventually it's going to end. I don't know that it ends, at least as far as division wins this season. And then my wild card teams in the AFC are the Chargers from the West, the Raiders from the West,
Oh, yeah, I love what you're doing.
and the Bengals from the North. I leave out the Steelers, the Broncos, and on the Broncos, I like what they did. I think they're on the right track. I think that Bo Nix might take a bit of a step back. Teams have had a whole now spring and summer to watch him on film, so I think that definitely is going to impact them. And the Steelers, I mean, I don't know. The Steelers just, they make the playoffs a lot, but they certainly have not been a dominant to good team for a while now. So Chargers, Raiders, and Bengals are my wildcard teams.
It's also worth noting that in the history of the NFL, only one quarterback age 41 or older was effective or even really passable, quite frankly. Tom Brady. So, because Brett Favre was like 39 turning 40 in 2009, and then we saw what happened when he hit the age cliff. So Aaron Rodgers would have to do something completely unprecedented outside of Tom Brady in order for the Steelers to comb through a tough division. So, okay. So both you guys have the Lions out is the biggest headline so far, I think.
Ball knowers over here, me and Judd.
Yep.
Big
And
ball
we'll
dance
see-
right here.
Yeah.
Sam Cassell would be proud. Okay, we'll see if Declan's been all over the Lions fading the entire offseason. So Declan, give us your NFC playoff teams.
Okay, I'll start with my division winners, then go to the wild card. Division winners, Vikings. Vikings win the North this year. I said that at State Fair. I will hold serve. Vikings win the North. Mm-hmm. I will have the Eagles still winning the NFC East. I know there's usually a Super Bowl hangover between one of the two teams that always get there. I don't know if the Eagles will get back to the Super Bowl. I still like them more. I know the Commanders are the fun pick. I still like the Eagles a lot. So I'm going to take the Eagles. Giants and Cowboys. I mean, Giants especially are going to be a gong show this year. So I still have the Eagles winning that division. I have the Niners also bouncing back, easiest strength of schedule in the NFL. They were still, even though they were just crippled by injuries last year, they still put up really good. They still had a pretty decent season, and sportsbooks love them. I mean, some even have them winning 11.5, 12.5 games with minus money line. So like, they're gonna bounce back this year. And then I have the Bucks winning the South. I feel like it's all outside of the Saints. I feel like it's a dart throw. Like you could blindly pick one out of the hat and say, yeah, that team might win the NFC South. So I have Vikings, Eagles, Bucks, Niners winning their divisions. My wild card teams, Commanders, Packers, surprise one, Arizona Cardinals.
Oh,
Cardinals.
I don't hate this.
I stepped around the Cardinals.
They won 8 games last year.
Yeah,
they
they're
doubled
frisky.
their win total.
Yep.
Jonathan Gannon's done a good job. They got weapons.
Yep.
That's a good sleeper one.
Don't sleep on the. I'm not. I don't think there's like a huge playoff run maybe in there, but I do think they bounce back again. Also, just strength of schedule wise, they have one of the easier paths in the NFC for strength of schedule. So I have the Cardinals getting in as well. Those are my 7 playoff teams.
Like it.
In the NFC, and again, Lions out.
No Lions.
So not even a wild card team for
No.
any of the 3 of you guys.
No.
3 guys that know ball.
No
Ball knowers.
Ball
Yep,
knowers.
ball knowers, exactly right.
Wow.
I did this too, by the way. But yep, this no one was in cahoots. Judd, Thor, and I were not. Hey, we're not.
Well, you've been out on Detroit.
I've been out on
May.
this since like May. Yeah.
Yeah, so
yeah.
no one's
let it be
questioning
known.
your ethics here, Dex.
Let it be known if they go, 7-10, I will be the first one saying I told you so in January, right? I'll be that guy.
Of course you will. Yep.
In the AFC, I have the division winners as followed. The Bengals. I'm with Judd. I think the Bengals bounce back. They win the North. It's a tough division at the top, at least. I had the Bengals winning the North. I had the Bills winning their division. I had the Chiefs winning theirs, and I have the Texans winning the South. Wild card teams. Ravens, Patriots. I think Patriots get in. I think Patriots bounce back. I think Patriots are going to bounce back here. And my last one in, the Denver Broncos. They have a good defense. Bo Nix is able to just manage the game there. He still had a really good rookie season. I think they're so competitive. That division is also stacked. But I will not buy into the Chargers. I just won't do it. So I have the Broncos being the wild card team there to round things out. So those are my playoff teams in the NFC and AFC.
Pete Carroll chewing gum right now. Can't believe that you don't believe in
I almost
him.
put him in.
He's using this as a motivation for his team. Chomping the gum.
I mean, there's going to be some teams, and the Raiders are one of them, that probably just need to take a step before they take the playoff step. So I could see the Raiders sneak into like an 8 or 9 win season and just maybe losing out on a tiebreaker, something like that. But wow, okay. I feel like there's pressure on me to go 4 for 4, kicking the Lions out of the playoffs here.
Yeah. Oh, there is.
Yeah, definitely is.
There's pressure, yeah.
Am I a ball knower?
Are you a ball knower?
We're about to find out.
Exactly right.
Does Mackie know ball or not? So I will say that I believe football is won in the trenches. And the offensive line tends to determine wins and losses more than almost any other position group in the league. There's other things that clearly matter, like quarterback play matters a lot, and edge rushers and pass rushers matter. But earlier this week on the O-line committee, our guys Jeremiah Searles and Alex Boone ranked all 32 offensive lines separate from each other. They came together, and it was shocking how much those lists actually matched. Just them, and they're not going through like PFF. It's their own intuition. They know all the players. And so they had a pretty clear-cut consensus, like top 10 to 12 offensive lines in the league. I just want to tell you that I am going to put as many of the top 10 to 12 offensive lines in the league as possible in the playoffs. Because I think it would be, I'm leaning on offensive lines and strength of schedule to drive my decisions here, okay? So we'll start with the NFC playoff teams. It's my gut says to try and find a way to like fade the Eagles for various reasons. Saquon Barkley's workload. You got Nick Sirianni pretending like he doesn't know that it's ceremony night tonight. Just it's always weird vibes. But that team is still loaded up and down both sets of trenches. They've got weapons on the edges. Barkley is healthy right now, and so like even if I think he's going to take a step back, give me the Eagles to repeat as division champions in the NFC East. I think the Lions, despite a brutal schedule and new coordinators and 40% new offensive line, I actually think they still sneak the NFC North for one more year.
Wow.
With like 11 or 12 wins.
We got to take away that ball knower card from you, Phil.
And part of my logic, Thor, is they have one of the biggest rest advantages in the league this year. So the Lions have a plus 13 net day rest advantage up and down their schedule. So I think having the extra day 13 different times or having an extra half a week on your opponent, I think that adds up over the course of 17 games, and it's going to help supplement some of the losses that they experienced. But I am with you, though. It does feel like they are teetering on the edge of the whole thing could come if Ben Johnson was holding that offense together. But they still have some weapons. Jared Goff is a really good top 10, top 11 quarterback. So I still have Lions winning the division. I've got the Falcons winning the NFC South. So the Falcons have one of the easiest schedules in the league, and they've got high-end weapons to surround Michael Penix. Bijan Robinson, Drake London took a big step last year, and they still have a pretty high-end offensive line there in Atlanta, even after losing Drew Dalman. So give me the Falcons to win a division that's always kind of up in the air. And you guys have mentioned the 49ers schedule being one of the easiest in the league. So give me the Niners to win the NFC West. Also, Kyle Shanahan always bounces back after a bad year in San Francisco and bounces back to like go to the Super Bowl or NFC Championship game. This feels a little different because it's Brock Purdy's team much more than it's been in the past. But, I mean, Ricky Pearsall is going to take a step as a first-round receiver. They still have Trent Williams as their starting left tackle. So there's more questions about San Francisco than there's been in the past. But give me San Francisco to win that division, especially if Matthew Stafford's back is going to be a problem. Wildcard teams, Vikings, well-coached, top 5 offensive line, top 5 pass rush, weapons all over the place. So Vikings as a really good wildcard team. Packers get in as a wildcard team. They won 11 games last year, despite almost not winning a game in the division. So if they can start winning a couple division games here and there, look out for the Packers. And then my surprise wildcard team is the Carolina Panthers to sneak in at 9-8. The Panthers were very good in the second half of the season last year. They had fourth quarter leads at Philadelphia and Kansas City, and they don't play a 2024 playoff team until week 9. So they have a really smooth schedule the first 2.5 months of the season. That means I'm leaving out the Tampa Bay Bucks. I like the Bucks, but I don't know. It just kind of feels like, I don't know if I fully believe in Todd Bowles as a head coach. Mike Evans, another year older. I think they're going to be a really good competitive team, but you have to leave somebody out. The Commanders, I could see a little sophomore slump for Jaden Daniels and 12 days of net rest disadvantage on their schedule. So tough schedule, and they have the short end of the rest stick compared. So between the Lions and the Commanders, there is a net 25-day rest swing. Lions schedule compared to Commanders schedule. So I am factoring that in. Rams, I worry about Stafford's back. Seahawks, I wanted to put in, but there's only 7 teams here. So those are my NFC playoff teams.
Do you guys think, so the one thing that occurs to me is, as good as the North is, because their schedules are tough, including playing each other twice, I don't think they get 3 teams in this year. I think they get 2 in, and I think somebody gets hit in the chin and falls to the canvas and gets the 10 count.
It could be. It could be.
Yeah, the margin for error is very small in that division, for sure.
And this is why, like, people that think the Bears are a playoff team, I want to hear your logic from front to back cover on how you think they're going to navigate that division, their schedule, and the other NFC teams, the Rams, the Seahawks, the Bucks, the Falcons, the Panthers. Like, how are the Bears navigating all of this to get to a wild card spot? I'm curious. AFC playoff teams. Bills, Ravens win their divisions. I think those are the 2 best teams in the AFC roster-wise. And then the Chiefs, obviously, with Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. But I think the Chargers, even losing Rashawn Slater, they're moving Joe Alt, a blue chipper, over to left tackle. So we'll see how their offensive line holds up. But Jim Harbaugh averages 11.5 wins per season as an NFL coach. And so I think the Chargers take over and win that division. I have the Jaguars winning the AFC South for the reasons Thor mentioned. Trevor Lawrence finally gets the Sean McVay tree guy and Liam Cohen. Liam Cohen's like the forgotten Sean McVay tree guy. He was the offensive coordinator for Sean McVay, like right after Kevin O'Connell left.
Yeah.
So give me. I know he's had kind of a weird introductory press conference. Nick Sirianni had a weird introductory press conference, and look at him now. He's a Super Bowl winner. So wild card teams in the AFC, the Chiefs, the Broncos, and the New England Patriots. I do question their offensive line a little bit.
Ooh.
Questionable up front and weapons, but Mike Vrabel, Drake May, and the second easiest schedule on paper should lead them to about 9 wins. So I have the Bengals out and firing Zach Taylor. I've got the Texans have a really spotty offensive line and a tough schedule out. And the Raiders, maybe one more year from now, we got the Raiders going in.
Zach Taylor. So the 2 coaches I think deserve to be fired because they can go somewhere else and exist. Stefanski, 1. Zach Taylor, 2, though. Because, like, if you look, again, how the Bengals are run, they're run so poorly. They've got this quarterback. Zach Taylor, I'm not saying he's great, but I am saying this. The Bengals are
Joe Burrow for 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, but
they did go to a Super Bowl.
Well,
so
and you are dysfunctional from the top. That's what I want to see. I want to see in Jacksonville. How are you run? Because I will say this. Philadelphia, Howie Roseman, their GM, is fantastic. Like Nick Sirianni, if you transplant him to 2024 Jacksonville, I don't think they're a playoff team. And I think he probably is a hostile coach who's overly aggressive, and I don't think it works. Like, I do think that these teams are very much based on their cultures, how they're run. The Bengals, terribly run. Cleveland, terribly run. And my question now is, does Jacksonville have leadership from the very top now? What's that like?
And we'll do a full breakdown of the Jacksonville Jaguars leadership, potentially on NFL Takes next week. Be great.
I want to see it.
Let's make our Super Bowl picks. Super Bowl, who plays in the Super Bowl and who wins the Super Bowl, starting with Thor in just a moment here. Shout out to Underdog. Underdog is back for another football season on Purple Daily Dex.
It is Thursday night football. I'm very excited. I just locked in. Here's what I got, Thor. I have This is a simple one for me. A simple
hear it.
pick 'em. I have Saquon going over just 0.5 rushing or receiving touchdown, basically a touchdown for Saquon.
Okay. Yeah.
And then I will ride Dak Prescott 1.5 passing touchdowns. I think they're going to be playing from behind. I think they're going to pass the ball like crazy. So I'm locking that in. That's what I'm locked in for Thursday Night Football to kick things off here. Whether you want to get in on tonight for Thursday Night Football, tomorrow, Sunday, Monday, there's plenty of awesome options at Underdog. Send me your wins too. Go to the Underdog app on the App Store, Google Play Store, and then you can use promo code SCORE, SKOR, for a deposit match. Go get the Underdog app and use promo code SCORE.
Only suggestion, if I may, if you're going to put in the Dak over touchdown and a half, maybe toss in a third leg. Maybe you go over the half of a touchdown for George Pickens. I mean, those touchdowns got to go to someone. Maybe reduce those odds a little bit more.
I like it.
This is what we always have to have Thor just riding shotgun with us here. Do you have any advice, Thor, for MSP plumbing, heating, and air conditioning users? Or
Yeah, there's a parlay I like on that card too.
air conditioning and heating all together?
And plumbing.
Yeah, HVAC parlay.
Yep. But it starts with this, Thorsky. It starts with going ductless, because if you call MSP, they are a Mitsubishi Elite Diamond contractor for ductless, and they know what they are doing. Man, do they? They've helped the sports dad out. They're fantastic. If you have an older home with no ductwork, that's no problem. MSP specializes in smart and efficient ductless installs. These systems aren't cheap, so guess what? MSP is going to help you make the best decision for not only your home, but also your budget. Quiet, efficient, just comfort where it's needed. MSP has been serving the Twin Cities for more than 100 years. Local, trusted, and committed to your comfort. Give them a call, 651-615-4292. Call MSP.com. Call MSP.com, and you can bet on this. You can bank on this. MSP is going to do the job for you.
You know who isn't duckless, Judd? The Miami Dolphins, because they roster Storm Duck.
Wow.
Cornerback.
It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. It's phenomenal. It's week one. It's like you came out of the like we started you up. It's week one, and Thor is just ready to go.
Yeah, I'm ready to go.
Are you ready?
It's been months. I mean,
It's like you've been wound like a toy from me. I'm like, football.
And how long
guy.
I had to wait for my son JJ McCarthy to take the field? It's been a long time coming, baby. I've been waiting for this weekend for a year and a half.
Okay. Well, let's find out how confident you are in JJ McCarthy.
Okay.
You got the Vikings winning the division in the NFC North. You've got them as the 2 seed. Mm-hmm. Make your Super Bowl matchup pick, and so who plays in the Super Bowl and who wins the Super Bowl?
Well, I'm going to go with the title games first. NFC title game, we have the Washington Commanders against your Minnesota Vikings.
At US Bank Stadium. Or no, it would be in Washington.
It would be, by my predictions, it would be in Washington.
Yeah.
And the Vikings and JJ McCarthy spur the upset there and qualify for the Super Bowl by upsetting the Washington Commanders.
Barney, watch out. Barney, watch out. I got to get this out. Barney, give it to me. There we go.
I thought you were going to wave the dog.
I thought me too.
There's the flag. No, I had the flag, and I didn't want it to accidentally fall into his cage. I had to get it out there for Thor. Wow.
Incredible roster on both sides. You're awesome in the trenches, the weapons, the coaching staff. I would take O'Connell as an offensive play caller and Flores as a defense play caller over literally anyone else in the NFL. And you guys know my opinion about JJ McCarthy. The people that are lower on the Vikings, they're all like, "Oh, we don't know anything about JJ McCarthy," and Bob. I've seen the guy play. I'm pretty confident. So, and then in the AFC, I'm going with the Buffalo Bills over the Baltimore Ravens, setting up the most epic Super Bowl matchup in the history of football. The Buffalo Bills against the Minnesota Vikings. Mm-hmm. I am going to call for the Buffalo Bills to win the Super Bowl. It might be a little bit premature crowning the Vikings this early in that way. JJ McCarthy's first year as a starter, they lost to TCU in a firefight in the college football playoff. The next year, they ended up winning the Natty. I will call for the Bills to beat the Vikings in the Super Bowl.
Dude, what a Super Bowl that would be.
I was thinking about this too, because this would divide the nation, because you have to pick your allegiance of which franchise that has literally been waiting for it their entire lives. I think the majority of people would probably lean more Bills. I think of the country. I think
It's one of those Super Bowl matchups where everyone would have a rooting interest. I feel like
Yeah.
everyone
Yeah.
would have an opinion on which of those two that they wanted to win for whatever
Also true.
reason.
It's because
Yeah.
the Bills' 4 Super Bowl losses came
More
what
recent.
15 years more recently, so more
Yeah.
people are emotionally attached to it, and consecutively, it happened 4 consecutive years. Not to mention that
Tough season.
everyone just watched the Netflix Cowboys series, which had a couple episodes featuring poor Jim Kelly and these Bills players that were devastated. So
Scott Norwood. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's a scarred franchise, which we know something about around these parts.
yeah.
And Bills Mafia is liked, correct?
Yeah.
I feel like they're liked. I feel
They
like
jump through the tables.
yeah,
they do the
fans
whole
would
thing in the
gravitate
park.
towards
Yeah.
like them. And it's Buffalo. They're that market, and they don't got a lot going.
And that would be one. That would be one of the very few, maybe the first one ever, where both the fan bases, like before the game, would like shake the hand and like, if it's got to be someone else, we're happy it's you.
yeah.
Also
Yeah.
true. Yeah.
Okay. Judd,
Yeah. Okay,
who plays in the Super Bowl and who wins it?
Okay. The Super Bowl is the Baltimore Ravens. So the Bills don't make it. The Ravens make it. I feel like the Bills are destined, unfortunately, for this. Because keep in mind, they've had their quarterback now again. Like, they've had their guy, and he can't get him over the hump. So this time around, it's not the Chiefs, it's the Ravens. And they play, I'm with Thor on this, the Washington Commanders.
Oh, wait,
Wow.
You're
Wait.
with Thor on what?
Yeah.
Well, Thor, you said that the Vikings are going to play the Commanders in the conference championship game.
Yes,
I'm
yes,
saying
yes.
that they play in the conference championship game and the Commanders make it.
Oh, so you're saying
Okay,
that the
you're flipping
Vikings
the
also
NFC
play in
title.
the
Yeah,
Okay,
why not?
okay,
Yeah,
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a crapshoot. Who knows?
Yeah.
So it's the Ravens and Commanders in the Super Bowl, and I'm going with the Baltimore Ravens.
Okay.
Lamar Jackson and Jaden Daniels just running around.
That'd be a fun one.
Fun Super Bowl.
outrunning
That'd be a fun one.
defenders.
Fun
Okay.
Super Bowl. But yeah, the Vikings, if the Vikings make the conference championship game, it'll be great, but I won't be completely shocked at all.
Yeah. All right, Declan. Boy, this is
Yeah.
crazy stuff.
This is fun. Okay, so here's mine.
He says that he's rolling his eyes.
This is fun. No, it's fun. I'm not rolling my eyes. This is fun.
Yeah, damn right it's fun. It's week 1.
That's right.
Everyone's having fun.
So I also have the Bills making the Super Bowl in the AFC, and in the NFC, I had the 49ers.
Okay.
And in this matchup, for the Bills going for their first Super Bowl, for the Niners who have knocked on the door, twice now in the last 10 years of trying to get their first Super Bowl. It was Kaepernick, it was Purdy. They've been in a handful of NFC title games, too, over that stretch. And unfortunately, the Buffalo Bills lose their 5th Super Bowl, and the San Francisco 49ers
Oh, you have the Niners
win
winning
the Super Bowl.
Wow.
I had the
Brock
Niners winning the
Purdy.
Super
Oh, my
Bowl.
God.
Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
okay.
God, I was
This
great with
Purdy-
storytelling there. You had no idea where I was going to go.
Wow.
Did you have any idea where you were going?
No, I
until
knew
you
I was
said
going.
49ers. Okay.
No, I knew I was going.
Does
Dramatic effect.
Does Purdy stand on that stage and flip off America?
Yeah,
And the world?
And with me also from my TV flipping off America, because I'm standing with Brock Purdy because I'm a Brock Purdy stan. So yes,
are.
I think
You
this is
are.
finally this is it. This is it. for
Wow.
them. Yep.
Okay.
Holy cow. The 40. So you would have 49ers, who I think this would this then tie them with the Patriots for the most Super Bowl titles, because they have 5. So they'd be hunting for the most Super Bowl titles, while the Bills would be hunting for the most Super Bowl losses, all in the same.
I don't know.
same
That's
evening.
a hunt. That's
Well,
an,
yeah, they
that's
would
an
stumble
unfortunate
into it.
circumstance.
Be
Vikings
stumbling
fans would be
into
like,
it.
okay, it's all yours.
Wow. Okay. I will say that I think the NFC representation is really hard to pick, because it just feels like there's more teams ready to pop and win a Super Bowl in the AFC. I mean, hell, the Ravens and the Bills have been waiting at the front of the line for years, right? Just, can somebody please let us into the party and see what happens here? So I do think this is the year for either the Bills or the Ravens. Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen are all-time generationally great quarterbacks who have just been overshadowed by maybe the greatest of all time and one of the great teams of all time, the Chiefs. So I do think that the Buffalo Bills are the most likely AFC team to gain home field advantage. So this plays into my logic. They play in a weak division. They have a weak schedule up and down. Whereas the Ravens, I think, are going to have a tougher test to get to like the 13 or 14 wins needed. So the Bills will host playoff games all throughout the AFC bracket, and they will get to the Super Bowl. And I'm going to stick with not knowing ball here. I think there's one more year left in the Lions window here.
Wow,
And I think this is the Super Bowl a lot of people have wanted to see the last 2 years. The Bills and the Lions, two of the most beleaguered franchises in NFL history. The Lions will have been battle-tested for 3 or 4 straight years. It'll be a grind for them to get to the division and the playoffs. But you can take that act on the road when you can run the ball that way. So give me the Lions and the Bills in the Super Bowl, with the Buffalo Bills circling the wagons for the first time in franchise history. So I got the Bills winning the whole thing. I think the Vikings might. Yeah, they're like AFC Vikings.
They're AFC Vikings, yeah.
AFC Vikings, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we'll make a couple other picks here. We'll do MVPs. We can kind of digest some of this stuff here in a moment. But game day men's health, I'll tell you, after turning 40, I'm a man. I'm 40. That's right. When you look back 10, 15 years, it was just very apparent for me that I'm not feeling like I did when I was 25. Decreased energy more than usual, mental fog, some stubborn weight. And I'm really fortunate that I found Game Day Men's Health a few months ago. Modern men's health care, where men go to reclaim energy, vitality, no judgment, just solutions. So my T number was lower than it probably should be at 40. I mean, it decreases over time, but they can help with testosterone replacement therapy, weight loss solutions, peptides, advanced lab work. Check them out and let me know if you go in for a consultation or you start one of their different plans, Edina, Minnetonka, and soon Roseville. I'd love to hear from you. So email me at pmackey@scorenorth.com. Go to gamedaymen'shealth.com/purple daily. That's gamedaymen'shealth.com/purple daily. Go in for a consultation and take control of your health and your life. And then go celebrate at Padres after you do that, Judd, huh?
Huh?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because you know what, Padres, they have beer that, you know what, it tastes like beer. This is not a 2025, oh, we are going to try and reinvent the wheel, because you know what? The wheel does not need to be reinvented. What it needs to be is perfected, and Padres has done that. I've told you about the red for quite some time here, and it is absolutely a great beer. And now here is the good news. Padres can be found throughout the metro in Rochester and Mankato in liquor stores, so you can try it too. There's the Red Chimney if you're watching this. Their beer, ladies and gentlemen, is a great beer for game day. If you want something to sip on game day, check out Padres. Again, available throughout the metro, Mankato, and Rochester in liquor stores.
All right, dudes, give just a little more analysis here. So on the playoffs and the Super Bowl here. So we all have the Vikings either winning the division or getting to the playoffs, right? And Thor's got them going to the Super Bowl. Judd, we kind of baited you into saying that, or I don't know, you hinted that they were going to get to the NFC Championship game.
Yeah, I said I wouldn't be
shocked. I think there's a chance they could get to the NFC Championship game. I think that's a real possibility.
Yeah. I mean, they're built for it. They're 100%. We can talk about McCarthy all we want. But when you look at what the Vikings have done, and I think there might be a trade deadline deal for a cornerback. I think if things are trending right everywhere, but they basically say, Okuda's okay, but he's not great, it would not shock me if they pulled off, I'm not saying for this player, but I'm saying a Rams, Jalen Ramsey, was that 2019 trade?
Yeah.
I would not be shocked. So yes, a Vikings advancing to play on the road in the conference championship game, I don't think should qualify as oh my God, I'm shocked by that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Thor, you mentioned J.J. McCarthy, because Michigan got to the college football playoff semifinals, and then it was TCU that beat them, and then TCU went to the championship game. It does feel like there's a step to take. I've kind of circled 2026 all along as if this team crescendos and McCarthy gets a full year under his belt and plays well, it just kind of feels to me like 2026 would be the really open window, assuming health for Hargrave and Allen and a couple of your aging trenches players.
I think so, but I also think this team is a Super Bowl contender right now. right? Like the roster just is what it is. And if McCarthy is even near as good as I think he is, you have a contender this year. But yeah, like, I think like realistic with the winning the Super Bowl, yeah, you would probably put it in the near future as opposed to this year, it just being JJ's first year as a starter. There will be some growing pains. There's going to be some looks that he sees, obviously, that he hasn't seen before. And so, yeah, I don't necessarily disagree with that, but obviously I'm bullish on this year's team.
Yeah. Okay, let's go around the room one more time here. Start with Thor, Judd, Dex, me. NFL MVP of the 2025 season.
I'm gonna go with Jaden Daniels.
Ooh. Wow.
Damn it.
Well, you had it. You could
Thunder
pick him too.
stolen. Thunder stolen by
I feel
ball
like-
knower.
Sorry, Judd.
Ball knower
Sorry, Judd.
Thorsky.
Are you guys like? I feel like you guys are
I've
like
got
blasting the Commanders to the moon here
Yeah,
a little
I agree,
aggressively.
You know what? No,
prematurely.
A little aggressive on the
I-
Commanders
Ball knowing.
here.
I go both directions with them, and yeah, Jaden Daniels could easily drop off. I have said I would not be shocked if the Commanders drop off a bit, but I also like them a lot. And so I'm very wishy-washy, but I'm either bullish on them or I'm sort of out more so than I think they're going to be okay, not great. Jaden Daniels, though, I mean, he just might be special too.
Yeah, he ran for like
Definitely.
900 yards last year.
I mean, he might just be special. That they might have hit the home run of that draft among those top 3 QBs taken. Drake May, I like a lot. I love the stature. Like in those joint practices, oh my God, like that stature is perfect. There's the arm I liked a lot. Caleb, I don't know yet, and Jaden Daniels might just be the guy, provided he stays healthy.
I feel like it is pretty clear though that Jaden Daniels would have been the pick instead of Caleb Williams, right? Like if you're the Bears and it's Thor might say that the JJ McCarthy, but like we can have a discussion about maybe re-ranking those if we look 5 years down the road. But I don't know. I mean, Jaden Daniels is just clearly the more dynamic, better, more accurate passer and player in the first year compared to Caleb Williams.
For sure. Yeah. Are you talking about if they had the choice of the two, or what were you asking?
Either way, like I guess environment matters. So if you were to put Jaden Daniels with the Matt Eberflus Bears last year, I don't think they win 12 games like the Commanders did. And this is where Dan Quinn was kind of a forgotten, cast aside head coaching candidate, and he's a defensive guy. But Dan Quinn's a leader, and he can hire people and put together a professional structure that once had a 25-point lead in the third quarter of a Super Bowl. So, Dex, so you guys both have Jaden Daniels?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree.
Dex,
I have
who's
Joe
your
Burrow.
MVP?
Joe Burrow. I think Joe Burrow is, even though that defense is still obviously very suspect, if I have them winning their division and likely making a big playoff run, I think he's gonna be a prime candidate to win the MVP award. I definitely like Joe Burrow. I think the most of any other quarterback. I love his moxie. I love the way he carries himself. So I will ride with Joe Burrow as my NFL MVP.
He's an incredible player. The only thing that concerns you there is the offensive line. That he's a crash
It's
test
rigged.
dummy behind it every year. And it's like the management believes in him so much that they'll, every year they have this desperate need on offensive line in the draft. And then they're like, oh, we'll take one of our other needs because we got Joe back there. And then you see it's just the crash test dummy thing again. I'm hopeful for him to get through the year healthy. And if he does, absolutely would be in play for the MVP. Incredible player. Incredible.
There has to be a certain level of team success to win MVP, and that defense and that offensive line make me really nervous. I feel like, maybe I'll be wrong, but I think he's going to put up MVP numbers just like he did last year, but they're going to win like 8 games, and they're going to fire a coach, and then they're going to start over again. But it's crazy. So I have Lamar Jackson winning MVP. This would be his 3rd NFL MVP, which basically, even without a Super Bowl, puts him in the Hall of Fame somewhere down the road. And I think he will get a Super Bowl. But the craziest thing is, last year, he had, compared to the previous season, so 2024 compared to 2023, where he won the MVP 2 years ago, he threw for 17 more touchdown passes last year. He had 3 fewer picks. He had 41 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, and ran for over 900 yards on the ground. threw for 500 more yards than the previous year. Through his first ever 4,000-yard passing season. His passer rating was 17 points higher. It was 119.6. And he led the league in QBR, passer rating, yards per attempt, touchdown percentage, and I think rushing yards for a quarterback too. So not to say that Josh Allen didn't also deserve MVP last year, but Josh, dude, Lamar Jackson is putting up numbers that we have not seen from a quarterback ever, and he's entering his prime at age 28. So give me the third MVP for Lamar Jackson in 2025.
Lamar Jackson should have won it last year. They voted for Josh Allen because it's the thing. It's like, what was that year when was it they gave the NBA, they gave it to, was it Charles Barkley or Karl Malone instead of Michael Jordan because they were just sick of giving it to Jordan every year. That's what happened last year. And honestly, that's one of the reasons I did not take Lamar Jackson for MVP this year, because if they have a reason to give it to someone else, if it's anywhere close, I think they go to another guy. And I ended up choosing Jaden Daniels. And it's just because the voting block are the people that are writing the stories. If it's a more interesting story to write, that sometimes can be your tiebreaker in your vote.
Be very careful, Thor. Don't insult the business.
Yeah.
The writers will come after you again, Thor.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I love Twitter so much.
Thor Nystrom.
I'm innocent. I don't know.
You're not wrong about I agree completely. MVPs are based, and I think it's only 50 votes. So yes, it's based on a lot of things, including the fact that if you've won one, they don't really love, or two, they don't love to give you a third unless you just have to.
Because it does put you in a certain historical. But you know what else puts you in a certain historical category? I don't know. Combining for 5,000 yards in the air and on the ground with 41 touchdowns, 4 picks, and leading your team to 12 wins. He's a historically great quarterback. So, wow, we just picked the entire NFL there, boys. Awesome stuff. Thor Nystrom from FantasyLife.com. Who are your 3 worst teams in the league? Because we got to finish the exercise. Who's drafting first, second, and third?
I have for the top 3 picks in the 2026 draft, the Browns getting the first overall pick, Saints second, and our boy Rick Spielman in the 3-hole with the Jets.
Oh, let's go.
Wow.
Let's go, dude.
So what separates the Saints and Browns? Because, the Browns are a mess, but the Saints are a dumpster fire as far as that roster, as far as I can tell.
Yeah, I think the Saints are a little bit worse than the Browns, but the Browns play the far harder schedule. Okay. So that's why I ended up sort of going that way. And I'll just say if I had to do the draft right now, my predicted top 3, I would go Sam Leavitt with the first pick, which is way out there. Most people aren't saying this right now. Arizona State's quarterback, I think, is really, really, really good. And it does not appear that Arch Manning is going to be in this class, or even that he deserves to be in this coming class. So, we don't have to talk about him there. I think Leavitt is the redshirt sophomore that ends up emerging. Number 2, the Saints, Garrett Nussmeier. Garrett Nussmeier's father is the offensive coordinator of the Saints, Doug Nussmeier. And Garrett is a really, really good pocket passer. We saw that against Clemson on Saturday. And then the Jets at 3, I will give them Peter Woods, a Clemson interior defensive lineman. The Jets obviously traded the 6th-round pick to get Harrison Phillips. That was a short-term thing. Peter Woods is a dominant interior defensive lineman that you can move around the line.
I love that Thor sprinted through the finish line of this exercise, which is why we love Thor. He took the assignment, added an amazing extra thing, and did the mock draft in addition to finish it out.
God love
Next week, the entire first and second round from Thor. Ranked finishes and all of the picks.
Let's go.
Yeah.
This is all coming together in full circle off-season blueprint episodes, which maybe we just start those now instead of in February. So, again, he's Thor Nystrom from Matthew Berry's FantasyLife.com. You can find his draft musings. We'll see you again next Thursday where we can actually react to a J.J. McCarthy regular season game for the first time.
Monday night. It's all happening, baby. It's all happening. What a time to be alive.
Be so much fun. This is Purple Daily. Thanks for hanging out with us, everyone.